Hiya, James here from the James Oliver Guitar Channel, and today we're going to do Vinyl Albums I Love, Vinyl Albums That Inspire Me, Part 7. So this is the 7th one where I show 20 albums by artists, bands I like, all different types of music. And every time I do one, I always get nice comments and comments saying, when is the next one? So here's the next one. I've picked out 20 albums that I like, or love, and etc. that inspire me. And okay, we're going to delve right in. The first album is a 10-inch album by the Pirates. You all know how much I love the Pirates. You know, Mick Green, Johnny Spence, Frank Farley. And this is their Fistful of Dupree album, which is a 10-inch album, which has 10 tracks on it. And the reason it's a 10-inch is because it's inspired by the Johnny Bennett Trio album. The one they recorded on Coral Vogue, which is worth a lot of money, about £1,000. And this is the Pirates sort of tribute to that. And this is a great rock and roll album. I think this is some of Mick Green's best playing. You know, it's got all the classics they do on there, Lindy Lou and Honey Hush and Lonesome Train, Sweet Love on Your Mind. But there's also stuff on here, like Put Your Cat Clothes On, which is a Carl Perkins track. And I mean, Mick's guitar playing is sensational. He's playing his Telecaster custom through a Marshall. And you can get this on CD as well. This is definitely worth checking out if you're into the Pirates or into pub rock in general. Yeah, I really like it. Fistful of Dupree. It's a classic Pirates lineup. It was recorded around 1980, I believe, and it's a real one worth checking out. We've got quite a few different genres today. Up next, we've got a Pink Floyd album. I'm a massive Pink Floyd fan, as some of my friends will know. I love all the stuff, you know, from Pipe at the Gates of Dawn right through to the Division Bell. And I like Roger Waters' solo stuff and Dave Gilmour's solo stuff. And even Richard Wright's solo stuff. I think they're wonderful musicians, great band. But I love The Wall. Because what I like about The Wall is you can put it on and listen to it from start to finish, and it tells a story. It's a great story. The musicianship is world class. The songs are world class. I mean, I even love the cover. The cover's great. I mean, there's the inside of the cover. You know, The Wall. Classic Pink Floyd. Up next, we've got a Newish Act. Well, I say Newish Act. This is the first album they've done. It's the Koch Marshall Trio. Of course, Greg Koch, who's, you know, been a renowned guitar player for years, Telecaster player, made lots of albums. But this is the album with Toby Marshall on Hammond and his son Dylan on drums. It's an instrumental album, but it's nowhere near boring. The musicianship is top shelf. It's just, I mean, I'm a massive fan of Greg, and we were lucky enough, my band, to support the Koch Marshall Trio, which was a real highlight for me in my playing career. And I mean, Greg is a nice bloke, really nice bloke, but his guitar playing, well, you know, he is up there with the best. And this is the album called Toby Arrives. And it's definitely worth checking out this. There's lots of solo albums and Greg demos for Wildwood guitars. And also he's got a signature model Reverend out now, which is, if we ever see one in the shop, have a go one of them because they're really cool. So yeah, Toby Arrives, the Koch Marshall Trio. And now this is a cool guy. This is Striking It Rich by Dan Hicks and his Hot Licks. Now Dan Hicks is a great songwriter. Sort of country, western, swingy, in the Commander Cody vein, I suppose. Big band, you know, lots of players. He made lots of albums, Dan Hicks and the Hot Licks. And this is my favourite one. And my favourite track on the album, let me see, I can't see what it is on the back, is I'm an Old Cowhand. I love that song. And I love the cover. And I love Dan Hicks and his Hot Licks. Of course, I showed the Bill Kirchen album last time, which is his proper years compilation. Well, there's a song called Word to the Wise with Dan Hicks on that. So yeah, it all ties in. Dan Hicks and his Hot Licks. I think up next now, this is the first time I've ever shown a compilation. This is a compilation from the late 70s, 80s called Risque Blues, which has got stuff on it like Bull Moose Jackson, the big 10-inch. The Checkers, Don't Stop Dan, Why Only Harris, Loving Machine, The Dominoes, 60 Minute Man, and basically they're all R&B and blues songs But innuendos, brilliant they are, you know. I mean, Bull Moose Jackson, My Big 10-inch, is a great song. He's obviously talking about his saxophone, but I'll leave the rest to your imagination. So yeah, Risque Blues, there's some real fun songs on you. You know, if you're into that R&B, jump, jive, 40s, 50s thing, which I really am, Risque Blues. And now another great guitar player, because I'm into guitar players, because I do play a bit of guitar. And this is Chris Speden. The only lick I know. Now, Chris Speden had a big career. He was a Womble, and he made great records with Robert Gordon. I think I might have showed a Robert Gordon and Chris Speden album on here before. But this is his solo album, and he does Hank Williams on here, Honky Tonk Blues, and he does White Lady, which I really like. You know, and he does The Dark End of the Street, which of course Ry Cooder does. And Chris Speden, I think, is quite an underrated guitar player. This is an album on the Harvest label, and it came out in about 1972. So there we are. Because he was also in our band, The Sharks, and he's done loads of stuff. He played with Mick Green in Brian Ferry's band. Yeah, he's a top session guy, and this is one of his solo albums. Of course, later on he went on to do motorbiking and stuff like that. And he also done a real cool version of Bo Diddley's Roadrunner. So there we are, and that's my eBay going. More records to bid on. And of course, you know how much I like to support, and I love all the Welsh bands, you know, Man and Deke Leonard, Iceberg, etc. Now here's a Man spin-off album, which is Clive John. You always know where you stand with the buzzard. Of course, Clive John was a keyboard player in Man, and he was a keyboard player in the Trembling Knees. And I mean, this is his solo album, which he recorded in Rockfield, and Andy Fairweather the Low is on it. And I can't see who else is on it now. Oh, and of course, Dave Edmunds produced it, which he did a lot in Rockfield at the time. And I mean, check out the ferret of this. And I think the cover's great too, you know, Clive John with a big orange. He was quite eccentric to say the least, but he was a really cool musician, and he was a lovely bloke, Clive. And definitely check out this record. You only know where you stand with the buzzard. And I believe, bit of a fun fact, the ferret is Andy Fairweather. So there we are. That's come from a good source, but it might not be true. Up next, we've got some real cool blues. There's a bit of an acoustic finger-picking guitar section coming off there. Blind Blake. These are his recordings from 1926 to 1930. And I mean, it's got all the classics on here, you know, Black Dog Blues, Bad Feeling Blues, Bucktown Blues, Hey Hey Daddy Blues, Playing Policy Blues, Righteous Blues. What a guitar player. Blind Blake's rags are absolutely fantastic. His singing is fantastic. I mean, you know, and it's just him playing his stellar style acoustic. And I mean, these recordings are nearly 100 years old, and I think the guitar playing still stands up today. The song still stands up today. The singing still stands up today. Real big fan of Blind Blake. Even though I don't really play the style, I just love it, you know. Absolutely wonderful. Blind Blake. And up next, another guitar player. This guy was discovered, I believe, by John Fahey. And this is Leo Kocky, 6 and 12 string guitar. Leo Kocky was a master of the 12-string guitar, and this is an album we recorded for Sonnet. And I found out about Leo Kocky because there was a program on the telly once, and the old grey whistle test, like Guitar Heroes thing, and there was a guy playing a 12-string guitar on it, and the instrumental was called The Driving of the Urinal, which is the title track off this Leo Kocky album, 6 and 12-string guitar. So I was hooked after that, and I mean, you know, I Love the Tennessee Toad on here as well. And it's just, you know, Watermelon is a beautiful piece of music. And he's still playing today. I don't know if he's living in Australia or what, but Leo Kocky, definitely worth a look. Of course, I know some of you will have and know a lot of these records as well. Up next, another great guitar player, because we're on a great guitar player tangent now. David Lindley. This is David Lindley and El Rayo X Live. And I mean, it's worth buying just for Mercury Blues, but he does Woolly Bully, he does Ragbag on his Wise and Bone. You know, I'm a massive, massive David Lindley fan as a session guitar player, you know, when he's playing with Jackson Browne and Warren Zevon, and his solo stuff and his stuff with Cooder. I mean, it's a David Lindley album, David Lindley Ride Cooder live in Japan, which I got on CD somewhere, which is just magnificent. It really is magnificent. So that's David Lindley and El Rayo X Live. Up next, one of my all-time favourite bands, The Coasters. This is just an Atlantic Masters compilation. I'm a massive fan of the Coasters. Great band, The guitar player, with his Gibson Gold top and the great vocals. And I mean, the songs written by Lieber and Stoller were probably my favourite songwriters of all time. But I mean, Poison Ivy, Yakety Yak, Little Egypt, Charlie Brown, Down in Mexico, Riot in Cell Block Number 9, Smokey Joe's Cafe. The songs are endless. They're just great songs. They're fun. They're exciting. And just a great band, the Coasters. I wish I had more a Coasters studio album to show, and not just this compilation, which is obviously an American import one too. Up next, Jerry Reid. We all love Jerry Reid, Jerry's Breakdown, The Claw. And I mean, this is the album, the unbelievable guitar and voice of Jerry Reid. And the reason I love this album is because of Guitar Man. Elvis did it, everybody done it, but Guitar Man is wonderful. And of course, The Claw is on this as well. So this is the essential, Jerry Reid solo album, in my opinion. I love the albums he made with Chet, when they both sat on the boat, But you can even see Chet and Jerry on the back there, and it's a great cover, Jerry Reid. Bit of blues now. William Clark. William Clark was a great harmonica player and a great chromatic harmonica player. Played that real blues chromatic stuff, extremely well. And this is the self-titled of the album. Sorry, it's not the self-titled one. It's Tip of the Top. Sorry, I've got another one which is self-titled as well. But there's some great blues on here, he does Charlie Musselwhite stuff, he does his own stuff. He does standards, like Going Steady. He does Drinking Beer, by Jimmy Witherspoon. Ronnie Earl plays guitar on it, we showed a Ronnie Earl album before. Charlie Musselwhite is on it, Georgia Monica Smith is on it. And there's a really great Georgia Monica Smith album on Blue Horizon called I think it's called No Time to Jive. That's worth checking out as well. But yeah, this is from the 80s and it's William Clark. Up next, another Welsh band. Swansea band. The Blues Bunch. Gary Phillips, still playing in Swansea now. Clive Roberts, Snob, who was in Deep Leonard's Iceberg last going off, sadly no longer with us. A sublime slide guitarist, Snob was. And yeah, they're just a great band. They're doing T-Bone Walker stuff and Wyoming Harris stuff and Slim Harpo stuff, Albert King stuff. And I mean, the Blues Bunch, along with Clive John's band, The Trembling Knees, were mainstays of the Swansea music scene. And people fondly remember the Blues Bunch. And this is their album, Looped. And it's definitely worth checking out the Blues Bunch. You can pick these up pretty cheap, and they're worth every penny. Great band. And now we're going to go to a bit of 60s beat. This is the Pretty Things first album. I think the Pretty Things get shunned aside a bit, because of the Stones and that. But Phil May's a great frontman, and this is a great album. It's an R&B album. They're doing Bo Diddley's Road Runner and and Pretty Thing. Bo Diddley, we're big Bo Diddley fans. Mama, keep your big mouth shut. Don't you like the me Chuck Berry number, which I do in my set for years. High energy, dirty British raw R&B. Self-titled on Fontana. I think it's from about 65. But I could be wrong and I can't see the date on it. I should check these things out before. But yeah, what a band. Check them out. And of course they went from the R&B stuff and they were doing stuff like SF Sorrow and Parachute. So it's a real broad thing with the Pretty Things. They didn't just stay chugging at the old R&B. They did do other stuff too. Great band. Up next, a little bit of sort of, I don't know. Well, it's got a country. Tennessee Ernie Ford. This is a 16 tons compilation. Of course, it got 16 tons on it, written by Merle Travis. But my favourite is Shotgun Boogie, and I love Blackberry Boogie. And the Smoky Mountain Boogie is a great band from Bristol, Pontchartrain, who do quite a few Tennessee Ernie Ford numbers. And I love Tennessee Ernie Ford, absolutely fantastic. Check out Tennessee Ernie Ford. Bit of piano now, because we're going to have a bit of piano playing. Champion Jack Dupree. When When You Feel a Feeling was a feeling. Mike Vernon done some great stuff on Blue Horizon, as well as the Chicken Shack stuff and the Peter Green Supermax stuff and the Dusty Bennett stuff. He done BB King stuff, he done Bucket White stuff, and he done a lot of Champion Jack Dupree stuff. I mean, there's some great stuff on here, you know, Mr. Dupree's Blues, Gut Bucket Blues, aka Ugly Woman, Street Walking Woman, Income Tax. I mean, Dusty Bennett's on harmonica, Paul Kossoff's on guitar, Simon Burke is on drums. So it's a little bit of free on this as well. And I mean, Champion Jack, of course, he was living in Halifax for donkey's years, and then he went and moved to Germany, and he was a wonderful boogie-woogie piano player. You know, there's a great poster of Champion Jack in the Under Club, and there's even a poster of Champion Jack that Champion Jack gave to Jack Bass, and Jack Bass, he gave the poster to the Pengessley pub, which is a great pub in Treorchy, like. And of course, Jack sadly passed away last couple of weeks ago, and he's the one who got me into Tennessee Ernie Ford, you know. So yeah, Champion Jack Dupree. And up next now, a little bit of rock. I really love this guy, Leslie West, playing his Sun amps and his Junior. What a tone, what a player. You know, this record has got Mississippi Queen on, which everybody knows, but my favourite track on it is Theme from an Imaginary Western. What a song. You know, trio, great band. You know, love Leslie West. He's still going now today. And I mean, this is a great record. Mountain Climbing. I thought I'd throw in another Neil Young one. On the Beach. Classic, you know, Revolution Blues, written about Charles Manson. See the Sky About to Rain. For the Turnstiles when he's playing banjo. Vampire Blues, which is on a live Promise of the Real album, Earth, which Neil Young brought out a couple of years ago, and I was so pleased he's doing Vampire Blues again. Absolutely wonderful album. I love the cover as well. On the Beach. This is from the 70s, 74, I believe. Could be wrong. I got Walk On it. Motion Pictures and Ambulance Blues. Ambulance Blues is a beautiful song. I mean, I'm a huge Neil Young fan. And I got every record he's ever done, from the Buffalo Springfield stuff, you know, right through to now. But I picked out On the Beach today. And now we're going to finish on an obscure one, because the video's quite long today. Black Cat Bones, a barbed wire sandwich. This is on the Decca Nova label, which is a bit of a, like, it come to be a sort of a proggy label, you know, from the late 60s, early 70s. And this is like a blues rock album, and Paul Kossoff has got ties with this, and they do Memphis Mini, Show for Blues, and they do Death Valley Blues, Feeling Good, Please Tell Me Baby, Coming Back. Really, I think the cover's great. I love the cover. This is a first press for the real record collectors, and it's a mono one. And it belonged to someone called Bona. So there we are. It's always cool. You know, I know we devalues. I'm like, but that doesn't matter. Just see the names on the back. This is quite heavy blues. It's quite psychedelic, and it's real cool. So there we are. Black Cat Bones, Barbed Wire Sandwich. So there we have it. That's another 20 albums that inspire me. Thanks for watching the channel. New videos most days of classic rockabilly, rock and roll, blues, country solos, gear reviews, gear demos, band videos, vinyl videos. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.